Plano, Texas. It's Wednesday night. It's early October. Oktoberfest is over, but it's still that fall harvest season. So we've got to review some pumpkin beer. So that's what we're going to do tonight, guys. But real fast, I want to show you my pumpkin. I got this at a pumpkin patch with my kids. And I want you to know, the pumpkin patches of today are not the pumpkin patches of yesterday when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you went into like a field and got a pumpkin. That was it. Now the pumpkin patches, this one we went to, it had bounce houses, horsey rides, a tractor ride that pulls you into an old western town and you can walk around the town. It had a petting zoo. It had way more than just the pumpkins. And then of course it has the pumpkins. And your kids want you to buy one that's this big, which you can't carry. But I got this one, these two little guys here. So go to a pumpkin patch. Even if you don't have kids, just go walk around. It's pretty fun. So, okay, shout out to Oren. Oren times 2. 2 weeks in a row, you got the trivia question right. Great job, Oren. So the question was about Texas last week. The question was, what were the 6 flags over Texas? Meaning, what are like the 6 governments that reigned over this land we call Texas? And the answer was Spain, France, Mexico, Texas, the Confederacy, which Sam Houston was against Texas joining the Confederacy. Anyone know that? And I think he was removed from office because he wouldn't go along with joining the Confederacy. So we really like Sam Houston around here now because now we know the Confederacy sucked. I'll probably get killed by some rebels for saying that, but wasn't really the best for all kinds of people. And then the 6th one is the United States. So there's the 6. You know, I was thinking, how come there's no Native Americans? They didn't have any flags? Because I'm sure they controlled this land way before all these governments got here. But okay, let's do some pumpkin beer. So Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale. 5.7% alcohol, 16 IBUs, so it's probably not going to be too bitter. From Colorado. That is not the Colorado state flag. I usually have the flag, but my sweet little 3-year-old girl stole my markers today and left the caps off them and they dried out. So I was left with very few options for markers. So no offense, Colorado, but today your symbol is a pumpkin. And some things in a harvest pumpkin ale that we're going to try to taste. Pumpkin, obviously, and then some harvesty spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and it should be malty. But before we taste it, just a little history here, and a few little complaints and jabs at Coors, Miller Coors, the big brewing conglomerate. So, Blue Moon was started in 1995. It was invented by a guy named Keith Villa at the Sandlot Brewery, which is a brewery at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. And they call it the Blue Moon Brewing Company, but there's really no such thing. This is just a subsidiary of the big conglomerate Miller Coors. So Blue Moon is Miller Coors' way of trying to get into the craft brewery market. They try to masquerade as, we're like a little craft brewery here, like a microbrewery. And they tricked me. Years ago, when I quit drinking Miller Lite and other giant big beers like that, one of the first beers I got into was Blue Moon, thinking it was like some small craft beer. Oh, this is so cool. I was tricked. It's owned by a giant company. So they take a lot of heat for that. Even if you go to their website, the website for Blue Moon, it's its own website. It's not on the Coors website. And it looks like a craft beer website. It has the beer profiles just like craft beers have. It's very artsy. I mean, even the labels on the beers are very artisan looking. So anyway, not a craft beer, but I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not a craft beer. Or I should say it's not it's not a small brewery. Maybe it's still a craft beer. Another thing, Miller Coors was sued by the Confederation of Belgian Breweries because on their flagship beer, the regular Blue Moon Belgian White, it just said Belgian White, making consumers think it was from Belgium. So as part of the lawsuit settlement, they had to add underneath that where it says that it's a Belgian style ale. So anyway, there's been some controversy around Blue Moon. So let's go ahead and do a taste. I am super excited. This is my first pumpkin beer of the season to taste. Here we go. Do this in a nice pint glass. According to the website Beer Advocate, a pumpkin ale should be drank out of a pint glass. All right. I would say this is like a nice amber color. That is beautiful. I'm gonna put my flashlight on this. A nice amber color. Not too dark, but definitely not light, like a light beer. And it's got sort of it's got an off-white colored head. I am excited here. I smell a lot of spices. Cinnamon, nutmeg. I'm not smelling the cloves, but I smell the cinnamon and nutmeg. It doesn't smell like pumpkin. Let's go ahead and taste it and see what it tastes like. Very bready and malty and very spicy. The cinnamon and nutmeg spices really come out. Very light pumpkin taste. Not heavy on the pumpkin. Actually like it a lot. It's actually really good. The overall taste is the spices. To me, the spices are sort of everything in here with almost just like some notes of pumpkin. But it's good. I like this. Let me have a little more here. Yeah, very refreshing. Mild aftertaste. Not bitter. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good beer. I'll give this maybe like let's give this maybe like an 80. Don't fall overboard. Maybe like an 84. 84 out of 100 for Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale. Not bad, not bad. So, trivia question for next week. It's about pumpkins. What percentage of a pumpkin is water? You know, this thing is pretty heavy, and it's probably water that makes it heavy, so that's your trivia question. What percentage of a human is water? Is it 78%? I don't even remember. That's something from elementary school. So, okay, next week's beer. Here's what I want to do. I want to do one more pumpkin beer. I want to do the Sam Adams pumpkin beer, which is called 20 Pounds of Pumpkin. And I want to compare it to this week's, the Blue Moon. So it's Sam Adams versus Blue Moon. So Blue Moon's got an 84. Let's compare that to the Sam Adams 20 Pounds of Pumpkin Ale, and we'll see who the winner is. Sam Adams is a real craft brewer, by the way, and we'll see who the winner is. So, thank you so much for watching episode number 13 of my show about beer. I appreciate you watching my show. If you like it, please click subscribe on YouTube. Maybe one day I'll get to 100 subscribers. I think now I have 32 of you guys. So, really appreciate it. And remember, no matter where you are in the world, even if you're in Pumpkin, Colorado, you always have a friend right here in Plano, Texas. If you like beer, I'm your friend. Good night.